Yeah, let's give Kalle a round of applause if you are listening. So anybody awake here? Yeah? Very good. So anybody here that likes to play games? Okay, one person, two. Really? So you don't like to play games here in Bratislava? Really? So let's try it again. Anybody here who likes to play games? Raise your hand. Okay, 5 people like to play games here in Bratislava. Okay, that's, if I ask this question in Finland, typically everybody will tell me that they love playing games. But I guess I have a very serious crowd here, so you're not much into games. But anyway, so I'm Peter. And yeah, I love to play games and also been involved in making some games. So anybody here played this game called Angry Birds? One person. That's pretty good. So I thought I'll start by talking a little bit about how we made that happen. So Kalle here was talking about space and Space Nation, and I think that you should all go to spacenation.org and sign up, because you can all start training to become an astronaut, and who knows, maybe you end up going to space as part of Space Nation next year. But being here now and looking at all the young people here, so I mentioned Angry Birds. So the last 6 years I worked at Rovio, and we built Angry Birds to one of the biggest and best known brands anywhere on the planet. And if you look at Angry Birds, actually it all started as a student project. So all the way back in 2003, I organized a game making competition. So competition to make games. And this was in 2003, so a long time ago. And 3 young guys, Niklas, Kim and Jarno, they were students at the Aalto University in Finland. They took part in this game making competition. And they made a game called King of the Cabbage World. And they won the competition. So they made the best game and they won. After the competition, they actually came to me and said that, okay, we made this game, we won this game making competition. What should we do now? So what do you think that they should do? So what I told them is that, okay, you guys not only love playing games, but you love making games. So I told them that, why don't you do what you love to do and start a company to make games? So in 2003, they started a company called Relude. A little bit later it changed its name and it became Rovio. Then over the next 6 years, they made 51 games. And then in December 2009, the 52nd game came out. It was called Angry Birds. So what is kind of like important here is that the whole company, the whole success story started as a student project. So it was made by people not that much older than you guys. So they started the company, they started making games, and then over 6 years they made 51 games, 52nd game, huge hit game called Angry Birds. So I'll try again now. So how many here have played Angry Birds actually? I know that you have. Okay, now 2, 3, 4 people. It's not too many. I think some of you might have played it, but maybe you didn't understand the question. But anyway, but I think what is very kind of like inspiring about that story is that, again, 3 young guys in Helsinki, Finland, made a game, and they made a game that then turned into one of the best known brands, one of the best known characters on the planet. That game that they made has now been downloaded almost 4 billion times. Not million, but billion with a B. So that's like a lot of copies of one game. And even 4 of you have played it as well, so it's pretty good. But I think what is very, very important about that is that if these three young guys were able to make that, in Helsinki, Finland, there is no reason why you guys here in Bratislava couldn't do the same. So let me try to ask anybody here who has made games, or anybody here who would love to make games. Anybody interested in making games? Anybody? No? Okay, so okay, Kalle there wants to make games. Excellent. So we have at least one pig farmer's son that is into making games. Okay, so let me try to convince you that it's actually like not a super bad idea to make games. So today is actually a very special day because, as I said, the company that Niklas, Kim and Jarno started in 2003, it is today being listed on the stock market. So one reason to make games is, of course, that you should always do, the things that you love to do. But when you do things that you love, sometimes you also get rewarded financially. So today that company is actually being valued at almost 1 billion euros. So that's not too bad for making a game. So that's kind of like the other reason why it might be exciting to make games. But I don't know, maybe I should try to ask the question that, is there anybody here, if you're not interested in making games, is there anybody here who is interested in making a lot of money? Yeah, okay, a few people. So actually, I will try to figure out what you guys actually like to do, because it's clear that you don't want to make games, or a few of you, and you don't want to make money. So I guess that you are all into science then. So anybody here who wants to be a scientist? Yeah? Excellent. One. Very good, very good. So, but yeah, anyway, I think that maybe the important thing, and what I'm trying to get across here, is that I think that the most important thing, that no matter what, that always do what you love to do. And this is something that right now I'm actually working as the ambassador to Earth for Space Nation. So that's something that I love to do, working with Kalle and the team. Another thing that I'm doing, we're also making some new games. So we actually have made a game, and we have made it actually not only in English, not only in Finnish, but if you go to the App Store you will find it in Slovak language. So this is actually available, this Big Bang Legends game. You can find it in the App Store and you can play it in your own language. So I'm sorry that I don't speak any Slovakian, but Sasu, who is standing there back of the room. So anybody here actually knows Sasu? Back there, that guy. Maybe it was before your time when Slovan won the championship here in Slovakia in ice hockey. So that guy back there, he's the only goalie that has ever scored a goal in the playoffs here in Slovakia. That guy, standing there in the back, Sasu. So some people here in Slovakia, but maybe it's before your time, know Sasu. And he loves playing ice hockey. But anyway, so this game here, anybody here, by the way, played Big Bang Legends? Anybody? Very good. So now you have an opportunity to go to the App Store, download this game, switch the language to Slovakian, and start playing. And it's okay if you play during my presentation, I don't mind at all. But one thing about this game here, this was made by some of the same guys that made Angry Birds, that 5 of you guys have played. So hopefully I can get 5 of you to play this game as well. But what is very important about this Big Bang Legends game, it's made by people who love making games. When you download the game, you will immediately see that it's made by people who love what they do. Another thing that is very interesting about this game, so let me again try to ask a question. Anybody here heard about Pokemon? 3 guys have heard about Pokemon, okay. So maybe it's not so popular here in Bratislava, but it's actually a pretty popular game. And when you play Pokemon, there's actually like many of these Pokemon characters. When you play Big Bang Legends, guess what? 118 different characters. But what is very interesting about these characters, that they have names like hydrogen, helium, lithium, iron, copper, aluminium. So they are actually basic elements. When you play Big Bang Legends, I'm afraid that you might learn something. Because you will actually learn that there are, or actually before I share this secret, so anybody here know how many quarks there are in a proton? Anybody know? No? So if you play Big Bang Legends for 15 minutes, you will learn that there are 3 quarks in a proton. You will also learn the names of many of the characters in the game, and they are actually the basic elements. So you will learn the whole periodic table by heart. So you are learning while you're having fun. And then when you get to that, thing like called particle physics in school, you already know the periodic table by heart. So you don't need to learn it like the hard and the old-fashioned way. You can learn by playing games. And that is what fun learning is all about. And probably everybody here knows that you are learning much better when you are having fun. Kalle was talking about the fact that he learned English by playing games. So he really wanted to play the games. The games in Finland, I think here also, most of them are in English. So then you have to learn the language to play the games. So it's a great motivation. And we have actually studied this in Finland, that boys speak better English than girls. Why? Because they play more games and the games are in English. So that's pretty cool. But now it's actually starting to even up because, of course, girls play games as well. So there is not much of a difference as it used to be. But we are now at Lightyear, which is the company behind this Big Bang Legends game. We brought together some of the people who made Angry Birds, so one of the most successful games of all time. We brought together scientists from CERN in Geneva, so the best scientists. We also teamed up with the best kind of like teachers and pedagogues from University of Helsinki, Oxford. So we brought together best game designers, best scientists, best pedagogues, and we made this game. So when you download this and you start playing this, you will learn particle physics. So what we are actually creating is the Pokemon of particle physics, which is pretty cool. So if you play this game, I promise you that you will learn. And I also promise you that you will really enjoy the game because it is a fantastic game. So you should check it out, Big Bang Legends. And it is available also in Slovak language, so you don't even need to learn English to play this game. And we also made this into a card game, so I'll just show you some of these like characters. So when you play the game, you'll find all of these different like elements in the game. So there are like all these guys like oxygen and hydrogen. This is actually neon that I have here on my red hoodie. So neon is the like 10th element, 10 protons. And you will also find neon when you play the game. So I wasn't like very successful in like getting you to react to my questions, but maybe we can turn it around and see. Anybody here have any questions about games, fun learning, Finland, the world, space? Feel free to ask. So anybody want to ask anything? No? So it feels almost like home in Helsinki because Finnish people would behave exactly the same. They would probably not ask any questions either. So I'm not like totally surprised. But okay, if you don't have any questions, is there anything that you want to hear? Anything you want to hear about? Anything? No? Ice hockey? No? Very good. But yeah, I think that I'll probably like wrap up my presentation here, but I think that the most important thing that I wanted to talk about today was really that no matter what you end up doing, you know, like in life, I think that you should always really think about what you love to do. And maybe one thing, also there was actually a Chinese dude, 2,000 years ago, called Confucius, who said that if you do what you love, you will not have to work a single day in your life. And always when I'm asked what I'm working on, I always tell people that I actually stopped working many years ago, because if it feels like work, you're not doing the right thing. So yeah, that's pretty much what I had. So thank you for listening, and I hope that you will play more games in the future and like enjoy that. So thank you.